Welcome everybody to the Chicken Coop, where we get guests to come on to our show and they can talk about what it is they're doing. Today we have a person who's described as MAGA 2.0er, who goes by Rocky. Now Rocky, let me welcome you with the ceremonial. To get things started, now for the record, and I say this for full transparency's sake. Me and MAGA do not get along whatsoever. And for good reason. In fact, MAGA itself is in this weird civil war between the Fuentes group and the other group. So when I was like, okay, MAGA 2.0, I wanted to like just straight up skewer you. I came around and I was just like, you know what? No, I can't just verbally dump on someone just because they're MAGA. It's a good reason, but not good enough. So I will encourage nothing but civil conversation. For starters, you describe yourself as a 2.0. I don't even. What does that even mean?
hmm It's a whole nother level, bro. What 2.0 means is MAGA, where I'm trying to, in my heart, take MAGA is to a philosophical construct of even beyond America itself. And let me back up a second. When you get to MAGA 2.0, essentially where you're coming to is some beautiful values that I don't care what party you are, I don't care what race you are, you're going to love on it from the standpoint of it's not a party, it's not a race. One of the reasons that one of the reasons why I created the MAGA 2.0 vehicle, gentlemen, is to alleviate this ridiculous political climate we find ourselves in, where you've got not only now, you're exactly right, MAGA is gone into some sort of ridiculous soap opera. You've also got traditional establishment people that have done nothing but taking our money and making empty promises. I mean, beyond OG Trump. And so I'm trying to elevate principles to unite humanity. I'd like to even back up and say MAGA 2.0 is a vehicle which will honestly, before it's implemented, will honestly also provide positions for people to really take a damn hard look at what the U.S. government has been doing for 50, 60 years. I do not appreciate some of the actions, specifically some of these forever wars that have impacted communities in the United States. Let's take it back to 1980. I'm about to lay something heavy on you. Nobody talks about this. Nobody ever went to jail for this from the government. But for about a 9-year period, starting in 1980, the United States government, in the form of the CIA and Oliver North out of the White House, and get this, guys, the damn U.S. State Department, who actually gave checks. This is fact, y'all. Get on my Substack. This is fact, y'all. The U.S. State Department actually transmitted hardwired money to 4 known Central American drug traffickers. And here's where it gets mind blowing and messed up. They tried to hide this, but I'm not going to let it go. For 8, 9 years, they flew coke straight up into LA, Miami, Arkansas, various other positions. Not only that, apparently, although not directly proven, these planes were given favorable points of entry and intel to avoid pickup. Guess what happens, guys? You bring in that much powder into one region. Guess what happens in the early 80s? Suddenly we have a epidemic. I mean, come on. Look at the impact of that government malfeasance on this nation, we still can't even calculate the cost of those crimes. No one, and I'm not going to let it go. So that's what MAGA 2.0 actually is a human position of an American ethos of we're going to correct ourselves. We're going to correct this ship before we wreck ourselves. What I cannot have happen, gentlemen, I cannot see MAGA turn into some sort of weapon against, um, whoever gets it from the OG when he's gone, whether that's Vance or somebody else or some other establishment figure. I See, I'm at the age, guys. I'm in the fourth quarter now. I'm 65, right? So guess what? I'm done playing around. I've read books and I was in government policy for 20 years from my first career. And I've read enough and heard enough from people. I got damn sick and tired of watching this crap. So that's why I'm coming out with MAGA 2.0. I'm trying to correct some things, let some people come back together based on humanity. And I had to get that off my chest. I still can't believe that crap about 8 years aircraft. And they looked the other way, guys, because another way down, they'd allow them to fly. They trained, they exchanged the drugs for cash. They take the cash, buy guns, fly them to the buddies down in Central America. They looked the other way. Guess what happened? Guess who starts dying? People in LA, people in Chicago, people in Miami, people in Orlando. People go to jail. Guess what happens? Families destroyed. The other thing that gets me really ticked off, and this may take you off a little bit at an angle, a lot of people like to talk bad about big cities, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the MAGA people say, "Oh, damn, these cities are crappy." Well, damn, if for 8 years if you've flown how many in a year, how many aircraft loads can you fly into LA? Quite a few, right? Well, you don't think you're going to mess something up, bringing these toxic materials on top of people? They've got what was his name, Freeway Ricky. I mean, out there in LA, he lived the life, man. They set him up. They made him a multimillionaire. Then they put him in prison, right? Nobody on our side took any heat. It's all out there, man, and nobody talks about it. So what MAGA 2.0 represents, young gentlemen, is it's coming from, technically I'm a Republican, so it's coming from a Republican side, but it's not an establishment Republican. It's a Republican MAGA variant. We need to correct some things. I'm tired of the establishment coming. This isn't MAGA 2.0, guys, is from the bottom up. I've seen some things I cannot let sit still.
Fair enough. Four things with that. Number one, the whole funding Central American drug cartel. That's not news. Like a lot of us knew that. Two, when it comes to stuff people don't like talking about, yeah, that's just part of that's just the game is the game. Nobody likes talking about January 6th. Nobody likes talking about the Tulsa bombings and stuff like that. Nobody even likes talking about the World Trade Center bombing or the Unabomber in general, or even Waco, the Waco siege.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all that. Three, what really, why associate yourself with MAGA as a whole? I mean, if you want to do fixing what's wrong, fair enough, good and all that. I mean, because there are level-headed, look, I'm a centrist through and through. I lean more to the left, but even I'll just say, yeah, there are some stable-headed Republicans that really don't like what's going on at all, and they're trying to fight it. So, and they do not associate themselves as MAGA. So that being said, why associate yourself with MAGA altogether? That seems really counterproductive of what your point of the point you're trying to make. I get it. You want to fix things that you don't like. Some of the shit that people have gotten away with is ridiculous, especially if you're up top. Don't even get me started with white collar crimes and all that nonsense. But at the end of the day, it's best to just abandon that because yes, once Trump is gone, what the hell is MAGA gonna look like moving forward? And from what we're seeing on the public side is that it's fucking devouring itself, considering how much of that stupid civil war is going on with MAGA and all that. So why associate yourself with that? It just seems no.
No, fair sentiment. I hear you. I feel you. The reason is, if we really take it back to first base, gentlemen, let me give. I like to call President Trump the MAGA OG. Okay, just in his purified form when he first ran for office. Remember, Donald Trump ran against what, 17 other establishment Republicans. Remember, it was like it was like one of them Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes Royal Rumbles. Remember?
Yeah.
So where I do, this is where I've got to give credit to when I say OG, I'm talking about President Trump now. Where I do give credit to the OG is if it were not for President Donald Trump, I do not know if you and I would still be under sovereign U.S. control. We had the WEF and the Davos group getting strong. They brought in COVID and all that, where they were part of that cabal to try to wreck U.S. sovereignty. Donald Trump would have none of that. The establishment Republican Party, they don't. I don't think, in all likelihood, truly care for him. Never really have. Just like they really, for years and decades, fought Ronald Reagan. What I would like to see enter the American political bloodstream beyond party guys, Democrat, Republican, whatever, I would like to see an American ethos, spirit animal come out and say, how about some fundamental principles like let's make it a goal to have affordable housing in America, number one. Two, let's make it a goal to reshore American manufacturing. Two. Three, let's make it a goal. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but guys, I'm old enough now. See, I'm going to bring you a little wisdom. I remember my father's father in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Gentlemen, he raised a family, owned a car, owned a nice little home in a nice little city up there, part of Pittsburgh, PA, Bellevue, PA. He worked 40 hours a week for 30 years at a steel mill. He raised that family, owned that car, owned that house on one wage. Third principle, let's create the goal of bringing back enough manufacturing positions in America so that family units, whether whatever member wants to work for that household, they could form a family unit, raise their household on one wage. These are the principles that I'm trying to spiritually build from the get-go. I am just tired of being told, I'm tired of this on either side. I do not like to see, and what I really don't like, gentlemen, is when you start talking about violence. We have enough violence. Look at American society since 1960. Look what happened in 1960. Guess you know what happened. President John F. Kennedy out. Senator Robert Kennedy out. Dr. Martin Luther King out. Malcolm X out. Was that an accident? I mean, come on. We know what happens with violence from the establishment side. What I do not want to see is, I see a lot of people from the right too saying, oh, come on, if you want to have a civil war, I got enough food from Alex Jones, bring it on, right? No, that's when we become cavemen and women. If we let violence get down to where, that to me breaks my heart ahead of time. Okay, that keeps me up at night. The idea that any American would love to entertain some sort of damn Mad Max world where we are damn exchanging fire or legitimate letting fire come down to the people. Come on, man. This would be the end of America. It's over then. Then the elites are eating us up anyway. They want to see this fighting. The elite, hey, the other thing MAGA 2.0 represents, gentlemen, is it's a capitalism 2.0. Capitalism right now is working great for the elites, man. Guess what? They have socialism. You know why? I can prove it. What happened in 2008? You remember. They made a bunch of big bets on our ass. Who bailed them out? You and me. Our children bailed them out. They had all their bets paid back. It's like they went to a casino drunk. They got caught. They got called into the office and somebody wrote their check. You wrote their check. We all wrote their check. See, this is another thing about socialism that cracks me up. The establishment will let filter down to the think tanks and the politicians. Oh, we don't want socialism. Well, hell, if you don't want socialism, give it up for the elites.
Well,
this is what. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yes, we have socialism in our democracy, public schools, it's literally called social security, workman's comp, right down to just the amount of programs that are publicly funded. It's basically socialism as a whole, right down to our police system, right down to emergency services and stuff like that. That's funded through taxes. That's what socialism is. The other thing I wanted to talk about was housing. Yeah, okay, for affordable housing. Problem with that is one of the reasons why the housing prices are so high. It's one of the reasons, not the main reason, is that a bunch of realtor companies buy up properties and literally sit on them. So that housing, yes, there is a housing boom right now, and that there are more houses being built. The problem with that is, it's not. They're under construction. Rent prices are going down, but that's another issue. It's just rent. It's not house. It's not home. It's just it's rental property. And then you have, and the when you bring up like the virus, like keep in mind, Trump let that in. He was just like, oh, we're all fine, never that, and then the lockdown happened. No, I was not happy with the lockdown. Oh, Doug, you were getting $300, X amount of. I don't give a shit. I wanted to go out and actually work. Hell, I wanted to go to a fucking bar, and the one time they actually had bars open, it was essentially a couples only night, and I'm just feeling awkward as shit. So, that's.
I feel you, bro. I feel you.
I mean, I would definitely agree with the idea of the private equity people buying up the houses, sitting on it. Also, I believe that now, I mean, it could be fixed in the future, but a nice solution right now would be maybe a pause on the annual increase of like 10% of all apartments every year, because it's not keeping up with the cost of people's paychecks. Exactly. So it's like 10% each year. Because remember, I remember maybe like 6-7 years ago, you can get locked in for like a 5-year lease or something, right? Kind of locked in. And then they got rid of that to make it 1 year, so they can price gouge you for 10% each fucking year. And then the thing is, you're kind of screwed if you want to move with the idea where they're like, you have to make 3 times the salary to rent the place. It's like, if I had that money, I wouldn't be at this particular apartment. So that makes no sense in any kind of way. And as for the COVID Trump stuff on there, I will give credit what's due. I will give credit to Trump for Operation Warp Speed with the vaccines. The only problem was people on the right were like, a lot of people were like, oh, no, we can't wear these masks or do these vaccines, which I also kind of hate Jenny McCarthy on this fucking shit out here for a little bit. But it was also kind of like, no one wanted to be quarantined or in place, but that's where we were, and we just needed to ride it out through it. It didn't help people being like, I'm not going to do this one little thing to fucking expedite this to get done faster. and it became like a huge movement, and it kind of fucked us up because we could have fucking been done with it in like what 3 months or so, but everyone's like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to fucking do this, and it's just like, and then it just snowballed to even more fucking shit where now we have fucking diseases that are coming back that was eradicated, like polio and other fucking shit. And it's kind of just like with our medical systems, it's not great. It's not the greatest in the world. And that's also based on capitalism and all that other kind of shit. And it's kind of devastating if you want this to be like everyone gets better. Everyone can get to like you said, a part where if you want it to be a family where your wife stays home and you just go out and be one single thing, we can't get to that thing because it's like medical bills puts out whole families, and now everyone has to fucking work and pitch in, or
That's right.
fucking like I said, rent all this stuff. It makes it super harder for you to do that, and it's like you said, the socialism, the capitalism, we're bailing out like Boeing every fucking year. We're bailing them out all this fucking money, and the fact that I would say a huge point if you want to do this MAGA 2.0, I would say Citizens United needs to get turned away because money on both sides, political fucking packs on both sides are driving these decisions for the rich people to get richer at the detriment of the working and lower middle class men.
And that's another point. You said the one wage thing. I wholeheartedly support, one wage. You don't have to, and you can live comfortably, supporting a family, et cetera, et cetera. And you mentioned that your father's father was working in a steel mill. And while I'm okay, and even though I don't like giving credit to Trump, to his credit, he did open up some steel jobs. Now, the thing is, when it comes to Midwest essentially coal country. Now, you had, like, coal miners actually, well, they still make a very good wage. Thing is, CEOs slashed a bunch of jobs due to two factors. One, increased automation, and two, they rather than actually having coal miners go into a mine 9 times out of 10, they'll explode the top of a mountain and take the coal from there. So one of the things how people would pivot those coal miners was they'd introduce them to coding jobs, and they'd get a pretty decent wage. Thing is, and it was publicly funded too, so taxes would go into that, and they would essentially find work that way. Thing is, the Trump administration basically gutted that. I didn't. And to be fair, I didn't know about that until I watched an episode of Last Week Tonight, John Oliver, when he was actually talking about coal jobs and how they were getting, how coal miners were being put into other jobs, et cetera, et cetera. And although, how do I put this? Although, like, coal production should actually stop because we should be focused more so on renewable energy, that's a different monster in and of itself. The reason why I wanted to bring up the whole one wage thing is because job security is no longer a guarantee. This is a fucking dumb reality, and you can thank companies like Uber and Lyft because we're now pivoting to what's known as a gig economy. I didn't know this term until I watched Abbott Elementary, and since season 5 and since the newest season's out, I'm in heaven. I love Abbott Elementary, Mr. Johnson through and through. Anyway, so but like, yeah, the gig economy is here, and while you could say, "Oh, Doug, you're just saying that because of AI," that is and isn't true. Because while I hate AI, I'll use it for minimal reasons, and I'm not gonna get into those minimal reasons. AI, like, companies were spending big on AI, removing senior positions and stuff like that, um, only to quietly either rehire those people they let go or put jobs out for the same thing that AI was supposed to do but couldn't because AI, while it's getting better and better, still nowhere near ready to handle those complex tasks. But again, the thing is, while those jobs are quietly getting, those job ads are being put out, they are being put out at a fraction of what those seniors were getting paid because they want to cut costs, this, that, and the
Mm-hmm,
other.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
so with that whole one wage thing, yeah, I really want that to come back. The problem with that is it's a combination of the climate that the job climate that we're in, but more importantly, the CEOs and shit like that are just all like, yeah, we're doing that because they're fucking idiots.
I will also put on there for the CEOs and stuff on there because the percentage rate of how much CEOs are getting paid raises compared to the workers, I feel like, let's be generous. Like, I'm throwing this idea out there. If they put where every time a CEO gets a raise, like let's say they get 5%, 1% it has to go back to distribute to all their workers, employees. That way, if they want to be greedy, okay, that's fine. Just put a little bit back and everyone can kind of grow at the same time. But it's not happening like that. It's like now they're getting over 100 to 200, 300% more than all their employees. And there's nothing there to be like, hey, let's get back to this. And then if I can't make that like 300% extra bonus, we're going to close up shop and go ship the plant down like to Mexico or somewhere else.
Mm.
And that's where that manufacturing jobs you were saying about. I also would like, hey, if you establish a company here, I think there should be an exit fee. If you really want to leave, like maybe you slap on like if you want to leave, you have to give us basically 30% of your worth that you're making here in order to leave and all that stuff. So it's not like, hey, I can just look at bottom lines and like I say finish. Like, no, if you really want to establish it, you're established here. Let's pay your workers because the detrimental effect of especially in Midwest and like rural America of how these companies leave devastates the entire community because it devastates all the other shops that help along the way, like mom and pop shops, restaurants, like
Wipes out town. Just wipes everything out.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
so devastating. So if you really
Yeah.
want to do that and be that way, okay, then pay like 30% or 40% of what you were worth, and that can help alleviate that thing for a while. And then maybe someone else could come in, see the vacuum that it left, and be like, okay, well then I'm going to establish my base of operations here, and that at least tie people around instead of like, I don't really have a problem with welfare per se and security stuff on there, but it will also does help these communities that get devastated when a couple of greedy people want to leave to make more bucks so they can sell their super yachts and send their nepo babies out in the world acting like they know shit when they don't. And that will help, keep everyone kind of in check, you know. And I'm also thinking like they also should pay more in the corporate tax wages, not necessarily back before Reagan. I mean, I think we can find a nice compromise, but definitely more than like how Amazon and like Elon Musk actually is paying zero in taxes for a couple of years, and they're still getting fucking government contracts and free fucking
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
All the more reason why, again, like I will be the first to say it. There are level-headed Republicans. Hell, fuck, I forgot the guy's name too. He's the guy he was literally
What state?
huh? I
Do
forget
you
the
know the
state too.
state?
Huh?
I said, do you know the state?
Nope.
I
No,
might help.
he was pushing for the hardest for the Epstein files.
Thomas
Senator.
Massey.
Oh,
Yes,
Massey.
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 Yes, yeah. He's actually, kind of level-headed. I mean, he's done some stupid shit, but more or less, he's like, no, you guys are being stupid. Calm the fuck down.
Well, because I'd say that a lot of he was following principles of what the Republican Party was, but eventually his actual faith and belief kicked in, and he saw that they're doing separately, and he's like, I can't do that. And that's where we saw that course kind of change with him.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, especially with the Medicaid cuts, it's like, because it's his state, he realized, like, bro, this is a death knell to my constituents
Yeah.
if I actually fucking go through with this. Like, and one of the reasons we're doing this is to give tax handouts, like you said, socialism to the elite who don't really need the money. Like, they don't. I mean, if you just kept this and, like, without tax rates for the rich, with their insider trading and all this other stuff, they'll be fine. No matter what, they will be fine. So this is just extra fucking shit so they can have, that's so they can talk to people at the golf course clubs like, cool, I made another 100 million. What am I gonna do with that? I don't know, bitches, cocaine, and a fucking yacht. Like, okay, and they're spending on shit that it doesn't really matter, and shit doesn't really add any value to anything. And like, don't get me started with like the tech bros and Silicon Valley, where it's just like we just kind of come up with a fucking idea that we know is not really gonna do anything. We just got to get enough people to invest in us so we can get big enough so we can get a bailout from the government. That seems to be the game plan for everyone, and
That's
we're just
what
writing
AI.
blank
That
checks
is what
on
AI
both sides.
is. That is what AI
Like,
is. Like a lot of economists are essentially warning, like, dude, if you keep investing in this AI, like in AI companies, and they're putting more money than they're giving out. They're not seeing good returns. Essentially, what's going to happen is it's essentially they're comparing it to
it's a bubble. It's a
yeah,
dot-com bubble. It's
yep,
dot-com bubble
yep,
2.0. And it's
yep.
busted up. And like, it's not even just, at least dot-com bubble, like it had its own thing. The worst thing about AI dot-com bubble is that they're using up a lot of our resources like electricity and water.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they're getting that shit for free, and they're passing the cost down to the poor people
Mm.
on the thing on there. And it's just like, that's really messed up for an idea that they all saw wasn't really going to be that great. Like maybe at the beginning they thought this might help people, but like maybe like a year into development, or whatever, most people who are smart enough probably saw like this is not sustainable. But they're just like doubling down, tripling down, and then because they know in the back pocket the government will eventually bail them out, no matter how bad it gets. That's why they can keep going forward.
Yeah.
So if you cut that out, and if you cut that out as the true socialism that people scream about they don't want,
Right.
it will actually be like, hey, you actually have to come up with an actual good idea, a good plan that's actually making money, making sense, and it's sustainable. Not
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm gonna come up with a half-ass idea, put it on Shark Tank, and get bailed out. Like,
Yeah.
Shark.
I'm so glad y'all spent time with me tonight. This is where I am. I'm fighting for the future, your futures. You're the future of America, you and your children. One of the things that I wanted to come back on that I can easily address, I want y'all to get on my Substack, Rocky, ROCKY, Haag, HAAG.substack.com. I have, gentlemen, I really think that the help that's going to come for our future, we're looking at it. I think we need to stop looking to leaders. I think what we need to do is start a collaboration effect amongst all Americans of similar fellowships, regardless of your race, religion, status. Guys, I think this is the help we got right here. I think we need to team up, man up, girl up, team, and as localities start organizing. I'm tired of these country club people. I'm tired of these university experts coming from the other side. In fact, I put a memo on one of my Facebook posts recently. I said, look, I was under one of my recent MAGA 2.0 updates. I said, look, y'all, stop fighting on who's the next MAGA. The people got it from here. Go on back to your universities. Go on back to your country clubs with your money. We got it. If we need you, we'll call you. I really think, let's talk about what really scares the hell out of me. You mentioned about one of the problems with affordable housing is essentially what we have, gentlemen, is, I don't know if you realize this, maybe you do. We even have some of this damn mutual fund money coming in, buying up through these private equity and LLC conglomerates. They're coming in trying to own every damn thing, even in our neighborhoods now. They want to try and put everyone on rent. I don't care who you are. They're coming for everybody. You're either, this is what I'm trying to say. This is the heart of MAGA 2.0, gentlemen. Look, let's get real. 98% of Americans have similar problems and issues. I don't know about you, but when I go to Publix to get groceries, I got to make sure I got to look at my savings account, my checking account. I've got to make sure I've got enough on my checking account before I even get out of the store with a little bag of meat and apples. This is ridiculous. So this is what the other thing about MAGA 2.0 is, guys. It's about collaboration, just like we're doing tonight. I'm hearing your hearts, but back to this big money in housing. Somehow, hell, what happened? Why can't we get back to a country where to own a home, you need to be a damn family? And then maybe we allow an individual to own up to 10 homes. Okay. But stop all this damn, somebody owning more than 10 homes as an individual or LLC. Stop. The other really evil thing about this private equity money, guys, you know what they're doing? They're using your money against you. If you're saving money in a 401k, in one of these big mutual funds, it's coming back against you when you're trying to go buy a home, start a family. It's absolutely ridiculous. MAGA 2.0 also is going to start, in my mind, gentlemen. We need a new American dream. I don't see an active American dream functioning today. Now, I love OG Trump. I do love him, but I got to be real with you. There's no BS coming here. We need, what I mean by an American dream is, and buy in with me here, I need for people like you everywhere, young people, to say, shit, I got you. Let me work hard 5 years, then I can have some. Everybody needs to be able to throw in their intangible wealth, their brain power, their skills, in the hopes of being like my father's father, getting them a little home, getting them a car, raising a family, having children, creating a neighborhood. Y'all, we need to create neighborhoods again where people have social connections to build some collective strength. So this is, again, MAGA 2.0 is not political. It's about people. It's about reigniting, turning the American nightmare into the American dream. Now, a lot of people will fake it right now, saying everything's kind of doing okay. You'll see a lot of people out there in regular corporate America. Let me lay something else on you, gentlemen, in my heart. I think what you see in corporate America today is what could be dead men walking. I think some of their asses may drop like the Soviet Union fell. I think it's up to us to put our skills together. We can take personalized AI and use it against the rubble of the old system. We have to create a new way forward. In building the American dream, together, we have to create the new path. This is the help we have, gentlemen, is what we see right here. We got to get our hearts and minds together, start teaming up, piling up, sharing skills, insights, and I'm sick and tired, again, of these country club people and university elitists, regardless of their left or right. And the main thing on my heart tonight was I want to just learn from y'all, see what y'all are feeling out there.
In all honesty, like, I can see the passion. I really do. I admire it. I can even say I admire it. Thing is, though, if you want those people to follow along with your message, I honestly that you have to ditch the MAGA 2.0 label, because MAGA as it is so toxic. It is. It really is just that toxic. Call it something else other than MAGA 2.0. There are, like I said, a lot of level-headed conservatives that are just all like, no, we're not MAGA, we're just conservative. Shut up. So there is because the term MAGA in and of itself is just that fucking toxic to everybody. They're just the second they say, oh, 2.0, nope. So that's just my 2 cents. Robert, what were you gonna say?
Well, first off, I agree with the name. It's just that, when I first heard MAGA 2.0, first thought kind of turned off. I'm hearing you discuss these things. I gave you the chance, and it makes a lot of sense. But like you said, the name itself will probably stop a lot of people at the door before they hear your message. Yeah. Then the second thing is about trying to get back and more stability than a one wage earner. I think we got to bring back unions. I think busted up a lot of unions without that security screwed a lot of people.
Mm.
And the third thing I would say is that the idea of credit that came up in like the late 80s and 90s, which kind of turns down a lot of people from owning homes and doing a lot of stuff on there, which is kind of screwed up because, like you said, if you worked hard and you do this credit report, if you pay back whatever debt you have, all of a sudden your credit score goes down. So it's basically like, so you're saying if I work my ass off, I get screwed, you know. But it's like people beforehand, when people, I mean, if you take the essential idea of what, if you take on face value what they wanted me by Make America Great Again, and they say 60s, 50s, whatever, you know what happened there? A lot of people had union jobs, one way stuff, security, protection. They didn't have the credit stuff on there. They could buy the house with their family, live in the neighborhoods that you said. So I'm saying, like, those are some of the ideas that maybe they should revisit. And then if we get Citizens United overturned and get like a lot of these rich people out of politics and political conference and stuff on there who are driving us towards doing this other shit, driving us to doing wars for their bidding, and us paying us money, we could actually get down and actually help us, the people, and not just help other people because, like, hey, I'm here in Congress. Oh, hey, a rich guy from Saudi Arabia, you have oil fucking money. Oh yeah, you give me fucking couple billion. Yeah, we'll go fucking do whatever you want in the Middle East. You know, like no, like
Robert, you hit a key point. I don't know if you guys follow Mike Benz on YouTube. Robert, you just hit, brother. I don't know if you know, you just hit a grand slam. They recently discovered that, damn, these people are not only in the United States business, using United States tax dollars and assets, State Departments, NGOs, USAID, billions and billions of dollars. They're up in every country's business. They're over there trying to mess with Mongolia. These people are out of control.
yeah, and they're trying to get like these precious metals, which also the AI comes there. It's like precious metal. I know China's been in Africa for a long time for precious metal for chips
Yes.
and all this stuff on there. And it's like this race to AI and all this other stuff. When they were like, when they were talking about taking over Greenland, to screw over Denmark, because it's like, oh, hey, we found a vein of rich minerals that can help the tech bros do more AI that they know is bullshit. Like, you know, like if we're gonna fucking do this, like, why don't we just go fucking mine from some fucking space asteroids for their minerals too? Like, you know, like it's just like all these plans, all this money, and yet, if honestly, if all their endeavors that are failed, if we would have took like 1% of all the money they wasted on there and just literally handed it out to the rest of the country and shit on there, how much better everyone's going there? Because that's billions and billions of dollars that could be right there to help everyone off of failed fucking ventures.
Robert, let me just tell you something, sir. It's more than billions. It's actually trillions.
Yeah, see? Only 1%. And it's like, I'm not being greedy. It's like, I'm saying 1%. If you took 1% of all your failed fucking ventures you put on there and gave it back to people, how much happier everyone would be, how much better of a country would be, how much lower crime and all the other shit will be, because they're not having to be, I got to do this for my family. I got to do this to survive. Because it's like, no, because I got a good job. Back when they had free college or free trade schools, we can get people, because like we need more electricians and plumbers than more than ever. If you pay for them to go to fucking that and learn a job, they got a job and are helping get back what we need. But all of a sudden we're putting price tags on this shit, and then that stops people from fucking doing that because they can't afford that. And then you let these other people, rich country club people, just get into schools with no merit because, oh, hey, my daddy gave $10 million that he stole from John over here, and I'm going to let your kid get in here knowing, like, he doesn't really need to do that because he's going to get a job at his daddy's fucking company doing bullshit, letting the other people do the work. Like,
you guys, you know what I'm tired of? I live in Orlando, and I have to travel sometime down to Kissimmee, St. Cloud, a little bit south of here. I go through many, many stoplights, guys, and I'm getting it breaks my heart. First of all, I want to urge everybody: if you're at a damn stoplight, somebody's begging for some food, $5, give them $5 at least. they may be scamming, but let me tell you something. What I've been seeing lately, and it scares the hell out of me, I've been seeing skinny people looking for something to eat. And I don't think it's drug induced. You know, you can kind of tell. They look like they're straight up. I think people are in need. Breaks my heart. We've got billions and billions for damn Ukraine and all these damn wars where people just get blowed up with expensive American missiles. We got all the American companies making money. We got some of these American high-tech companies making money. Guess what? We got over 1 million dead. And let me tell you where it's really messed up, guys. We got over 1 million dead in Ukraine. We got American companies involved in enterprise. And guess what? Their damn stock is up. Something is damn wrong. How about breaking off a little bit for somebody that needs a sack of groceries? This is America, y'all. I see at least 3, 4 people. Sometimes I see families out in front of grocery stores down here in Orlando. This something is not right.
Well, okay, so we are coming close to time. The only thing I can end on is like if it's no one's those who are in power are letting inflation go out of control. They can't. They haven't rung in inflation. Matter of fact, Costco is suing the Trump administration to get money back from the fucking tariffs. One of the reasons why inflation is so bad, I'm saying one, not the main reasons, just one of them, are the tariffs. Since everything's getting taxed, coming imports, the idea is, you're supposed to buy domestic stuff over stuff that's imported. And I can get behind that, but, you gotta be careful on where you put those damn tariffs. Because, as you could see, since those tariffs are happening, no one's buying China ain't buying soybeans. They're going to, Argentina or some shit now? And on top of that, Trump is literally taking billions of taxpayer money for Argentinian beef when we have beef here, and it's just stagnating. And you could say oh, he's bailing them out with money he's getting from the tariffs. What? That doesn't address the issue. It's just a circle. It's not. You could literally not do tariffs anymore, and the economy will do just fine. It's been doing just fine. Don't tell me about trade deficit, because in all honesty, you probably don't even understand what the trade deficit is, because that doesn't. Anyway, look. At the end of the day, we're coming close to time, and as much as I want to continue on, we really should wrap this up. So that being said, wow, okay, Lemonade, you really want to do that to me? Thank you. Thank you, Rocky, for coming into the Chicken Coop. Please email me your links so I can put them in the description as well. And yeah, you all take care. Later on. Boop.